My relationship with Tony Robbins began about 30 years ago. It began with a book called Awaken the Giant Within. It deepened with a tape series and my obedience. Obedience? Yes. Driving on an interstate in New Jersey, about to cross the Tappan Zee Bridge, he told me to stop and write down the answers to the questions he had posed. He said, not to say, you'll do it later, but I said, I'm driving, in my own mind, of course. Maybe I said it out loud. I'll do it later. He said, no, now. All of a sudden, the traffic stopped. I wrote, and when I had finished, magically, the cars began to move. From the interstate to Hartford, Connecticut, live. That was a huge experience. And from that, I was energized and took on a new, powerful position, and my sales increased. I'll tell you more about that later. But I also then, many years later, wound up in real estate in Charlotte, North Carolina as a broker in charge. And I brought a trainer from Tony's team. Her name was Tamara, and she came into the office. She did some training. My husband and I followed up and we attended a satellite meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. One of my agents went to Atlanta using every dime he had. He ate crackers and peanut butter the entire time. He returned a man on a mission and thanked me for the push. He now owns his own business and is in a wonderful relationship and has done an awesome job raising his two boys. Next along came Tony and the comeback challenge. Brought me back into the fold, and here I remain transfixed. We all needed Tony at that time, and we had moved my mother from independent living here to live with us in our downsizing home. And we never looked back, but it really helped that Tony was there to support us. And then I met Dean, and then there were three. The questions kept coming, and I kept writing. My why appeared as I dove down 7 layers, and here is what came out. I've always supported women. I am a good trainer. I love business, learning, and challenge. Retirement does not mean my value and my contribution is done. I see too many women who are overwhelmed, unbalanced, struggling to do it all, and feeling guilt at the same time with very little or no personal self care. I am fulfilled when I give back and I see a new woman appear, and that makes me feel great. I have been given many gifts, and so I finally got down to my 7th layer and had to face that I could not keep those gifts within myself. I have a need to give back, to be of service, and to lead with my heart and vulnerability. As I reflect on my pivot moments in time, I go back a number of years to when my kids, who are now adults with their own kids, my children were 3 and 7. And when their dad moved out, our energy changed and we began our growth into family. We knew being, who knew, being the first divorced single woman I knew and the first single parent I knew would be me. So, leaving the medical field with all the benefits to be at home and raise my children, who thought that was a good idea? That I leave the benefits, I leave the pay? Nobody. But I did it. Was I scared? Yes. Was I determined? Absolutely. Mary Kay Cosmetics and 100% commission came into my life. There were a couple of difficult years of quotas and deadlines and a slope into debt and no child support. I learned selling is a service, and once I did that, I could actually talk about money and make the sale. I brought and recruited many women into an organization, and that helped them to grow and build their confidence and provide much needed money for their families as well. As Mary Kay said, if you help enough people get what they want, and then you will also get what you want and need. A number of Cadillacs later, life was good and we were thriving. Now, here we are, moving from New England with all of the conservative traditions to North Carolina and the Southern charm. And we did that when my son was about to go into high school and my daughter was going off to college. Again, who do you think thought that was a great idea? Nobody. But we did. Change makes us stronger. And here we are today. The kids are married. We have four grandchildren. And me, 20 years after being on my own, a wonderful husband whom I'm learning to depend on, allow my emotions to flow, trusting and loving. And wow, what a new territory this is. I even said I would never share a closet. And here I am, loving every minute of it. So, where did my final push come from? What made me really commit to coaching and to going into the knowledge business? This message really came from a client. She was reluctant to be coached, but she agreed. And after three coaching sessions, this was a portion of the note she wrote to me, and this was my final push. Sandy has a way of seeing into souls and sorting the chaff from the seed in an amazing and empowering way. I was hooked. I had to do this. There's so many calls to action and so many takeaways and stepping stones that I think are so valuable that have come through the Comeback Challenge, KVB, and all and Project Next. And so I just wanted to capture a few that were so meaningful to me. Tony says your psychology changes and your when your physiology changes, your psychology changes, so you need to move. I agree. Stack your messages and do not negotiate with yourself. Mindset. Ask better questions. Is this really real? Recognizing that our reptilian brain is there for protection and our old story holds us back. When we recognize those things and can set them aside and take action, we can then move forward. Who are you when nobody is watching? Thank you, Dean. I think that this is a part of my core. And it was really looking back a part of why I felt a divorce was so needed, even though my children were very young. Because I think that authenticity and that integrity and our word is our bond is critical not only for the way we live, but it really is necessary for the message that we pass along to our children and the next generation. Best decision, mastermind. Got in it from the beginning and it has just gotten better. Tanner's videos are making a very strong impact on helping us to navigate that course and get our courses up and running. Best support team ever with the weekly messages. And Dean, you're all over the place with social media in Zoom, committed to our success and over delivering constantly. And yes, feeling the love from all of that and all of the team. Finally, and at last, my mastermind is up and running. My bio is there. My personal prime time video is there, and that is on self care. My next course is in progress, the name of which is No is a full sentence. My dot, my ideal client, my impact. Women who are 30 to 60, they're in transition, they are afraid of change, and they're pushing through the mess and they're overwhelmed, aka navigating life's curves. Pretty much the theme of my consulting, counseling, coaching business. My ideal client is the woman who wants to step out of fear and into a better self. She wants to drop the drama, leave the chaos and the pain. All of those things inflict such negativity into a woman. And this woman, she wants to believe and trust in herself, her self worth, and her value. She wants balance and calm. And that is my mission and my goal to help get her to that place. My impact is to use my gift of listening, asking provoking questions, discussing through words, and discerning what those words really mean, using body language and my instincts to allow the universe to lead, speak through me to her, designing the steps to developing her own voice and her personal power. So, what's my plan of action? Well, Wellness with Attitude, Coach Sandy, Navigating the Curves of Life, a Facebook group, Awesome Women Navigating the Curves of Life, creating courses to be purchased through masterminds so that we can be generating income while we're off playing or asleep, to develop group coaching sessions of 10 to 25 clients, to generate a challenge and then manage that through Facebook and masterminds, to use interviewing techniques to create courses with other experts, to bring 3 other coaches into the fold to share our talents. And that already has the 3 coaches um, gathered together, and we are forming our next courses, and that group is called SK Squared. And I want to hire an assistant in 6 months to manage the media. The next stepping stones for business and stamina is to take my business mobile, work from anywhere, have the freedom to travel, meet new people, and see the USA. I feel like my gifts are impacting and empowering women, and that feeds my sense of purpose and my mission. Increasing my contribution to tangible income so that when the time is right, I can decrease yoga classes or close my studio. Additional income will allow my husband to lighten up so that we can both go play. Celebrating and developing friendships with coaches and clients, lending a hand to help other women up the ladder, and possible podcasts, co coaching, being open to new opportunities, maybe even a book. What are the lessons that I took from the speakers that you so generously provided? Jenna Kutcher, I found to be vulnerable, and the power of her photo stories was strong. Sharing her mess. I took her course list to launch, and I'm creating my drip campaign and my email distribution. My 100 and social media tips from the 2 Rachels. 1 week into developing that, and I have 98 people. 100 plus, here I come. Sage Levine gave strong messages of contribution and growth, giving back with a mission. Dynamic was her Stepping Up and Stepping Out program with lots of to dos done just like a teacher. She was great. Jay Shetty, well, he really tore at the heartstrings. A monk to an entrepreneur. Now, I bet not a lot of people said that was a great idea. So, the quote I liked were 2. Collecting is a part of the puzzle of life. Gathering the pieces builds the tapestry of life. Start demonstrating your skills. And Lisa Nichols, wow, great one liners, great passion, great conviction. And I loved her quote that says, your conviction and your convenience do not live on the same block. And now for my all time favorite quote from Lisa and my new visual, I would like for you to meet my friend Aila, which is a name from the Scottish tradition meaning strong place. And I am that, and I provide that, and I want to continue to do that for others. So I'd like you to meet Aila right now. So wait for it. And here's the quote: decide not to dress like a horse when you're really a unicorn. I am allowing my unicorn to take the lead. Thank you for all you do and for allowing me my voice.